This is a school for indigenous Nubiá Guarani children in Brazil. Here, all activities for kids up to the age of 6 are in their original language and use teaching materials created by Guarani. Only after they start to attend a regular public school do they begin to have classes in Portuguese, Brazil's official language. Their indigenous teacher says keeping their language alive is essential to maintaining their culture in the Tecoapiau village, where about 700 Indians live just outside Brazil's biggest city, São Paulo, with about 12 million people speaking Portuguese.
We encourage our children to speak our language as much as possible, at home with their parents, for example. Our people have already adopted the clothing styles from outside. We can't forget our language, too.
The school coordinator says their mission is to keep alive a language and a tradition that have been resisting change for centuries.
When the Portuguese arrived in Brazil 500 years ago, we spoke our own language. It is part of our identity, and it has to be preserved. We can't let it disappear.
According to the United Nations, there are 190 endangered languages in Brazil, all of them spoken by indigenous communities. The Endangered Languages Project says Nubiá Guarani is considered vulnerable, with estimated 6,000 speakers. Efforts are being made for its preservation, but other languages with only a handful of speakers are running an actual risk of extinction. Of Brazil's endangered languages, 97 are classified as vulnerable, 17 are definitely endangered, 19 severely endangered, 45 critically endangered, and 12 are already extinct. For many years, Brazil's official policy was to get all indigenous populations to speak only Portuguese.
Only in the late 1980s, after Brazil adopted a new constitution, were indigenous people allowed to have schools with classes taught in their own languages and to use their languages in books and on radio stations. Before that, Brazil enforced a law from the 1930s that forbade the use of language in the country other than Portuguese.
Many indigenous peoples and NGOs have been working to preserve Brazil's remaining languages, so that important elements of traditional cultures are not lost forever. Paulo Cabral, CGTN, São Paulo.